Okay, under new business, here's some more good news. First thing is I made a mistake on Monday. I signed a piece of paper without asking what was in it first. I was getting this yada to tell me, and I was signing, and I looked at it, well, wait a minute, I shouldn't have signed this without having a resolution from the town board authorizing me to sign this. That was bad news. But the good news is it was something good I was signing. And we have a resolution to accept a conservation easement for 43 acres of land given to the town of Goshen by Margaretta and Jerome Fatcherick. And this is out on Craigville Road. I've got a map here for the board if they'd like to see. If you come down Knoll Road into Craigville, just right across the street. There are 2 building lots there, okay, and that the planning board split off and whatnot. But there are 43 acres of wetland, and these people had the foresight to say, you know what, we want a conservation easement in perpetuity, where nobody can fill it in, put garbage in it, destroy it, alter it in any way, and leave it just as it is. And so this will be kind of open space. Now there are 4 ways to get open space. You can buy it through PDR, purchase and development rights, which we've done 4 farms. It could be bequeathed to you, like Gene and John Jonas left us parcel land, beautiful land. It's not ours, it's theirs, their estate. But it can never be built on, it'll be open and whatnot. It can be given as in this case. Okay. And lastly, and probably the most powerful, is through the zoning and coding that this board has put together, where 50% of every applicant that comes in here has to agree to 50% open space and to put all their houses in half of the parcel. So here is a case then, this 43 acres that will be. And so Dennis, could you kind of go through this?
Not a problem. I think each of you have a copy of the Declaration of Conservation Easement, whereby the Sherricks, again, set the easement on the property and enter into an agreement with the town. And as the supervisor indicated, it's in perpetuity, no construction, no use, in layman's terms, to ever be green, if you will. We are indemnified against any and all costs, expenses, legal fees, any issues whatsoever in terms of our involvement with the property. And this instrument, which the supervisor needs to be authorized to sign, will be recorded along with the deed, so that anyone, if you will, searching the records or otherwise, will be on notice as to the requirements in regards to this property. 2 parcels, subdivision, 1 parcel to be built on. The easement is over 43 acres, as the supervisor indicated. And what you have before you is a resolution which memorializes that language and authorizes in the now therefore clause the supervisor to execute the easement in order that it can be recorded.
Is this as a result of the subdivision, or is this something that they're doing?
Combination. It's a direct result of the subdivision, but it is also something these folks were willing to and wanted to do.
Well, because, I mean, we like open space, but I'm not sure if it's a conservation easement and there's water on that property or waterlands. I mean, some of the subdivisions that divide off, that give us open space deeded to us, but at least we have an opportunity to look to see. We're not in the land business unless it will provide a benefit to the town. I know by giving us the conservation easement, the tax burden on that parcel of property will be reduced.
The same.
Only because these are wetlands and they're not usable anyway. So I just want to make sure, and I haven't seen this and I haven't understood this, but and I'm not sure how long this was in the works, or is it?
It was some time. It's at the planning board level. I'm sure you appreciate. Well, in terms of our new code, etc., the planning board spends a great deal of time again obtaining these easements and/or parcels, open space, etc. And this is a format that we've developed, they put into place, if you will, on any grants going forward. And so it's a standard format, and they reviewed it at length and covered the areas, as I indicated, from indemnification to perpetuity in terms of time. Actually, you're effectively, this parcel, there's no activity at all. no dumping, no cutting, no removing, no drainage of wetlands. It'll truly forever remain green.
It doesn't even grow.
I can't speak.
Well, I understand that,
Right.
but a lot of some conservation easements, we can't use the land, no one can go on the land, yet, there's a conservation easement.
Correct, depending upon the parcel.
Something,
Yeah.
and in a lot of cases, there are tax benefits to this or something. I just want to make sure,
Yeah.
that I understand before
Sure.
I adopt a resolution to have someone sign something
Absolutely.
for in perpetuity.
Right.
I understand
Yeah.
what
In fact,
we get.
as Doug pointed out, there is a map here present, which again pictorially represents what you're speaking
Map,
of.
I got this map. It just shows that they've got two building lots on Craigville Road.
I know that.
Everything behind
Yeah.
will be it's water.
And
It's all wetland, nothing
Yeah.
can be done
Right,
there
and
anyway.
as a practical matter,
So-
I'm sure you appreciate, the board planning has gone through all this. We have delegated that authority to them at this level, and it certainly should be reviewed. That's how, in fact, that came up when Supervisor Bloomfield signed the document. We both discussed it, like, I don't know, I'm not familiar with it either, just like you are, Phil, what you're saying tonight, and so we have to research it.
Right, but I don't know, did we have their recommendation and so on and so forth, or did we
By definition.
did we have choices on this thing, to either take the land by deed or
Well,
conservation?
we have choice.
Sure.
No,
We don't have to accept this.
No,
Go ahead.
do we have choices whether there's a conservation easement or deeded over to us, or do we
No,
know?
no,
Do we know any of the resources? Because we may want to get it deeded to us, if they would do it.
Yeah, that I could tell you.
I don't know, did the planning board study that? I mean, to see if there were resources on there.
Again, all I can tell you is that in talking to counsel for the planning board and planning board members, they said they looked into all that and that this was their recommendation.
Okay.
And this is why they did it in this format. Now,
I mean, these people didn't get bonuses or anything else. They had to, and so this land belongs to them. They paid the tax on it, and my understanding is they want, I think, for the value of the land that they're going to build on,
correct,
to keep this untouched.
aesthetically.
And that's why they come forward to give it this conservation easement to the town. Okay, go ahead there, Jerry.
Oh, thank you.
But just take a moment, because we're not in...
Yeah, I have a vested interest in this. My property borders that property. I have some 27 acres. That original parcel was 48. So there's 5 they've cut out for themselves.
Right.
Now, one of the questions I have here is hunting, and who would enforce that particular concern, and will it be posted? I've had problems in the past with guys back there and...
Yeah, in all due respect, I can answer some of that. Again, I wasn't there at the creation. These questions probably would have been posed better at the planning board level when they were discussing it.
Yeah.
But there is an absolute prohibition against hunting, bicycling, operation of mountain vehicles, snowmobiles, etc. There are provisions in terms of indemnification for the landowner back to the town, and enforcement provisions that the landowner will see to it that this is maintained, these restrictions, and if not, the town would be able to assert or take that position and assert those to protect surrounding landowners, and any costs and expenses will be charged back to, and I apologize, the Ficherics. I think I'm pronouncing that right. So in answer to your question, I know legally speaking it's set forth, but I wasn't part of all the discussions, etc.
Well, what's interesting is my 27 acres will never be built on. So if you put the 27 and what they've given us, we now have 80 beautiful open space acres.
Right.
That's right.
And they should be congratulated for what they've done.
Well, I think so.
Jerry, this doesn't border exactly.
Because it's not a kill.
We're in the back?
It's all in the back.
It's in the back, okay.
Water's that.
But
I'm
there's
trying to side with these people.
Well, let's do this. Would someone make a motion regarding, we can discuss it, but would someone make a motion regarding this resolution?
So moved.
Okay, now it's open for discussion. Any other comments?
My only comment was that we may want to even take it, we may have wanted to take it to the next step. If there were resources on that particular property, just take the property so that we could use it for water or whatever we may need. So I didn't know that. I think it's very commendable that they give us any land that we get for open space that we don't have to pay for. It was very, very commendable. But I just thought, I didn't know. I haven't seen this. I don't know about this, and
Yeah, unfortunately, process-wise, sometimes this it will occur this way, because we don't
Because the
receive
planning
it.
board just
The
sends it
planning
to
board
us.
signs off it and refers it, so, yeah.
It's recommendation.
Yeah, but I did check that out, and that is the case.